Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back. This is our second developer live stream now. Still not quite in rhythm, but I can't really remember when our last one was. Sometime in November, early November, I think.
Yeah, coincide. I think with the second one would have coincided with U.S. Thanksgiving.
Yeah, so we moved it to December 11th. And then obviously Christmas is going to throw a wrench into things. So try to get as many, obviously, if there's any questions, we'll answer those today. But we'll let Steve take it away. Happy to have, obviously, our founder CEO, Stephen Kenway, back on the developer live stream. I will pass it over to you. And then, obviously, if anything comes up, I will read questions if they pop up, and we'll let you take it away.
Yeah, awesome. And if you've got any questions, let me know.
Yeah, for sure.
I apologize. You're all stuck with me again, but in the future, I plan we'll have a few more people on.
You know what?
Today,
We actually, before you jump into it, we actually did get some comments. I had some people that said they jumped into the live stream last time, the developer stream, and they had no idea what we were all about, and the developer stream helped. So it's
nice.
working, and people like hearing me talk. So it's good. I don't know if they like
Nice.
hearing me talk as much, but they do like hearing your voice. So we're good.
Well, it's face for radio, so
Yeah.
voice has got to be good for something.
Yeah.
But yeah, and last time we were a little bit rushed, so this time we'll be able to take a bit more time. And today we're going to focus in on GraphQL. I'm going to share my screen, so I think I've got it up, Caleb. I think you'll have to turn it on.
I got you.
Perfect. Excellent. And so, it's interesting because, if you work in sports, you work in technology. If you work in sports, you may have never heard of GraphQL. If you work in technology, you may have heard of GraphQL and are kind of wondering, what it's all about. So today I'm going to really focus on kind of what it is, the advantages of it, how you can access data feeds by rolling insights through GraphQL. And did I put it? I got the same slide there. The first one should be authorization. How do you get authorized? How do you get connected? All that jazz. I'll go through some common queries through the playground, and then we'll compare it with REST. And then it'll probably take us to 30 minutes. So what is GraphQL? It was developed by Facebook in 2015, and the whole idea behind it is they wanted to make it a lot simpler for their kind of graph implementation of all these relationships between people, so that they could query data and the front-end development teams could shape the responses that were coming back instead of just getting this like big blast from a REST API. And so it really allowed them to do that through a single query, get the exact data they wanted, avoid overfetching and multiple round trips to get the same data. The long and the short of it is, it's like accessing a database through an API. So it's a lot more like querying a database as opposed to hitting an endpoint and getting the full stream of data. So, at the end of the day, GraphQL, in our implementation, we didn't really do anything new. We have to build it. It's an open source query language and platform that we've kind of installed and then connected with our database and then configured so that people can access it. And we currently have it for 2 sports, for NFL and Major League Baseball. The plan is to move all the sports on there. We wanted to start with 2 so that we could learn about it, harden it, make sure we got some usage on it, take those lessons and then apply them to future sports as we bring them on board. So I talked a little bit about what the advantages are, but I'll get more specific. So you can go in with GraphQL and like I said, you can shape your payload. So I've got, hey, you got a series of different trucks and you need to carry some data. Do you need a trailer? Do you need a big truck? Do you need a trailer and 2 bikes? How are you going to get from point A to point B? And GraphQL allows you to kind of hone in on the exact fields that you want to return, which reduces overfetching and reduces the size of the payloads, and often improves performance because that data can be returned smaller over the wire. It also means that since you have one single endpoint, there's fewer round trips. So depending on how the nodes are all connected, you can write one request and get a series of kind of nested, kind of related pieces of data in one request. And probably the coolest part about it, which I'm going to show you today, is it's strongly typed. So that means that through introspection, you can hook up a playground and you can view the data as it's defined by the GraphQL, as opposed to having to look through a bunch of API documentation. So I'll stop there. Any questions so far, Caleb, from you or the chat?
None in the chat, but I mean, it is something. So from a sales side of things, it's something we hear. Like if we have people coming in that are more technical, they usually ask about it, and they usually have things that they want out of it. For people who are non-technical and just have an idea that we're looking to, it's good to have this kind of explanation for them to use for it, because they oftentimes don't really know the advantages of each of them, or the disadvantages, whatever it may be. From our perspective, is it, or from somebody else's perspective, is it easier or harder for them to pull it? Like, does it work? Is it working harder, basically?
You know, like, so if you're a non-technical person and you're hearing this, you're like, okay, well, what does it really mean? Well, it means that your developer is going to love you because you're working with us, because we have GraphQL. So it's a lot easier for developers to go in and just query the data they need, instead of having to make a series of requests, like chain them all together on REST, which we have REST too. We have that available as well. And then have to do the processing on your own side to then stitch all that data together and filter out all the stuff that you don't need. So
Gotcha.
GraphQL is, most of the time when we have, technical founders or developers come in, they're like, oh, sweet, GraphQL. Nice. This is great. This is going to make my life a lot easier.
As we say, like, we're a very developer friendly company. That would be one of the main reasons why, then, would be for seeing as NFL is one of the biggest drawers.
Exactly. And we're leveraging modern technology. Not going to say anything bad about any of our competition, but some of them have been around a long time, which is a good thing. They're stable companies, etc. But a lot of their technology is kind of using the patterns and thought process of yesterday.
Right.
And so, as much as possible, because we are developers building for developers, we're trying to leverage as much modern technology as possible to make your lives better. As we say internally, we want to stand on the shoulders of those that walk before us.
Yeah.
And GraphQL is one example of that.
For sure. This is probably something you'll get into. Does it cost more for the customer?
It's the same price.
Okay.
And you get access to REST and GraphQL. So if there's something that we don't have on Graph, which I'm certain, because it's a new implementation, there's probably stuff we're missing.
Sure.
You can still go and get it from the REST API as well.
Awesome. Cool.
So why don't we get in the next part? How do you access it? So accessing it is a little bit different, because you've got to use, our standard. You got to use kind of the Auth standard implementation of, we give you a client ID, secret, and you got to put in a grant type to create a token, which you then use with your queries and requests. And that refresh token, you've got to constantly be refreshing it, just to keep things secure. So I'm going to just hop over here and dive in. If you come into API Locker, it's not loading. Why is that? Tab needs to refresh. Here, let me log back in. There we go. That's better. If you come into your API Locker, you can create a token, and that's at accounts.rolling-insights.com. You can create a token. That token is then used is your credentials for logging into GraphQL. If I open this one up and we'll take a look at it, it's going to have your client ID. If I were to cycle this, it would give me the secret as well. And so it's that combination of client and secret and then grant type that you need to create that access token. The secret itself, it disappears afterwards, so make sure you put that someplace safe. If you lose it, it's not the end of the world. You can always come in and just refresh that and rotate it and then create a new token. So I've already got that all pre-set up. So I'm going to come over here and pop into Postman just for the purpose of this demonstration. And I'm going to create that access token. So behind the scenes in the body, I've got the variables which have my client ID and secret and my grant type. And then it's going to return back this nice token here that I'm going to copy out. So if you're a developer, you're doing this programmatically. If you just want to play with the playground, which is what I'm going to show you in a minute, then you can do that access request through Postman. So again, like I mentioned before, like one of the cool things about it is, I think this is already in there. So if you want to configure it, I'll just come in and do it. You come into the top left-hand side, make sure you're pointing to the production environment. You put in bearer, paste this in, the header is authorization. And then that will then tell the playground, hey, go to this, use this authentication, and tell me what's available within that GraphQL implementation. So again, like I said before, like this is one of the coolest parts because you could literally come in here and you can see the actual data. And you can come in and you can shape and create a bunch of queries before you even write any code. And if you're using like a lot of the IDEs that developers are using, so you're using Code or Cursor or whatever, you can also install an extension or configure it in a way so that it will do the kind of fast forward IntelliSense, tell you what's in the implementation while you're writing your code in the moment. So let's take a look at a few queries. I had a bunch that were kind of just pre-prepared, so I remembered what I was doing here. I'm gonna throw this off to the side so
Smart.
folks don't need to see that. So the first part is schedule. Like, let's just get the schedule. So I'm gonna clear this all out. I'll just uncheck this. That'll be faster and easier to do it. Yeah, and I'll clear out the variables. So let's just get the NFL schedule. So we'll come in here, we'll open this up. And so this is going to open up the schedules node. And then we'll come in and we'll want to say, let's get the schedule for this year. So we're going to pass in a variable that allows us to filter it. So it starts structuring the query at the top, and then we'll put in the variable down here. So for most sports, you have to put in a range because it the season is over 2 years.
Outside of MLB.
2 calendars, yeah, outside of MLB. And PGA, I think, is one, and darts is one, but most of the other ones are over a couple calendar years. So I'll come in and I'll say, okay, what do we want to see in the schedule? We want to see the away team. Let's get the IDs as well, because maybe we're going to want to link that with the team information at some point later on. We'll get the game ID. I think that's critical. And then we'll get the home team, home ID, and yeah, we'll just leave it something simple like that, and we'll get the entire schedule. So when we query that, we then see this is the entire schedule for this year, including preseason and as playoff games get scheduled. So really, really simple. And the beauty of it is we don't have any of the other gunk that would come in our regular REST API schedule endpoint. We'll compare some of those afterwards. So let's do one that's good. Sorry, yep.
Nope, I was going to just follow, but you're good. You're good.
So let's do another one that's a bit more interesting. Let's actually go and get some games. So I've got a game here. I think I was doing this late last night. I think this is Kansas City versus the Colts, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's the Chargers. So I'm going to remove the season attribute. I'm going to add the game attribute. So it's now going to query on game. Put this in here. I got to make sure I wrap it in quotes so it understands the value. I'm going to remove this because we don't need that anymore. And then let's go and let's add some game data. We're going to put in the full box. So we're going to get the quarter scores and the overall score. Come back to the home team. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Score and quarter scores. Oh, I kind of got those mixed up, got a little carried away. So we can just go in and kind of reorder them. And then let's get some player box information. Did I go up high enough? Player box, there we are. We'll get the away team. I'm just gonna type this in. We get the player name. We'll get the passing yards. We'll get the passing touchdowns. And we'll get the passer rating. And then we'll copy the same thing for the home team. We'll just edit this to home. And then we'll hit play. And we hope it works. Okay, perfect. So it returned that information back. So we can see, and like, again, we're shaping this so it's exactly what we need. And we've got some of that information nested. So when we come in, we can see the quarter scores. Yeah, it's the Lions-Cowboys game. Yeah, that was actually a very entertaining game.
It was.
So, definitely hit the over 77 points scored.
Yeah.
So we can come in here and we can see Dak Prescott, what he had in terms of his. We've got all of the players. I don't know if we have a filter right now for filtering out a specific player. Oh, yeah, we do. So let's add in a player specific. So we want to see how Dak Prescott played in that particular game. It didn't work. It's probably because I didn't spell his name right. I got it right. Okay, I'm probably doing something wrong. This is on the fly. I didn't plan on doing this.
You're killing it so far.
Yeah, a lot better than last time. So you can come in here and you can kind of filter based on some player information or team information, and really kind of pare it down so you get a little more focused. But again, it's the whole idea is that you can nest this data, you can shape it, etc. Okay,
it's so fully custom instead of just hammering everything that we have, every possible thing that we have. So as people are building out whatever they're building out, if they have specific things they need, it's going to be a lot easier on their system.
You got it. So I'm going to show you a good example of that one right now. So let's do player stats. So let's clear this all out again. So this is the aggregate player stats for the season, not a specific game. So I'm just I could probably do this by clearing the other thing out, but we're going to pick a different node, and we're going to come in here, and it's under roster. It's under roster. It is. Okay, it's weird that I named it schedules again. Okay, but it's under roster. The name doesn't really matter at the top. We're going to filter by team ID, and we're going to put in season. Okay, I think that's right. Let's do, I'm just going to copy these in. Oh, I got that wrong. I didn't pick team ID, put in team ID. Okay, so I think this is the Cowboys. And then we're going to come in and shape our request. I think everyone gets the idea. You don't need to watch me use a mouse and a keypad, although I've got some error here in the query. Maybe I should do it from scratch. Okay, let's try this again. Your range team ID, your range team ID. I think I might be missing
and
a bracket.
just so people are aware, you're doing this literally on the fly, like we said.
Yeah.
But it's taking you almost no time at all. So for developers coming in, this is going to be.
Yeah, you got it. And awesome. And the beauty of it too is you can just like copy these out afterwards and then put them directly in your code.
Totally.
So this should work. Yeah. Okay, good. So it goes through now, it returns the, so I said in this particular case, we want, passing attempts, completion, passing yards, etc. You could extend this so it's got a little bit more information. Let's go rushing attempts, rushing yards, rushing TDs, and then we update that. And so it gives back those off. So obviously some of these players, like if you've got a defensive tackle, he's not going to have any of these offensive stats. But for all those players that have the offensive, you're really only getting exactly what you're looking for, which is great. So I think we've done enough of those. Now I'll show you the alternative. Like the flip side is you hit the REST API. And okay, so I've got my secret in there, and I've got, this is the entire season. So you look at the size, this is every team, every player, all their stats. So it took, nearly a full second. It's 600 kilobytes. If we come back over here, this is significantly smaller. Oops, I don't know what I did there. It's 8 times faster, and response size, that doesn't seem accurate, but you get the idea. It's 8 times faster. And you can do a little bit of that with the rest. Like we could come in here and we can add, working off of memory here, team underscore ID equals 16, and then it'll just give us the Dallas Cowboys. But we then get every single stat for all these players. So that's the beauty of GraphQL compared to the kind of regular implementation of a REST API, is you could really shape it. It's like you're querying a database itself.
Mm-hmm. So as a non-technical founder, this makes a big difference for not only not selling rolling insights to your developers, but championing it as we're going through these processes. Bringing this to your developer is going to make it a lot easier to have a decision made, really, because it's going to make their lives better, which at the end of the day, that's going to be the success of your system. So.
Yep. And the other thing too is, like, as a non-technical founder, worried about the business side, we always get questions of like, what's this data point? What data do you have? The playground is available at datafeeds.rolling-insights.com/GraphQL. Sit down with your developer, get him to show you how to do the authentication side of things. And then you can go in and query and play with the data yourself.
Totally.
It's one step above what you see, what you get editor. You got to know a little bit of what you're doing, but if you've got your developer close, he can help you, and over time you'll learn it very quickly.
Yeah, which is great. I mean, you want to be able to have knowledge of all of this, so it helps us too on our side.
Yeah,
so it's good.
Yeah, I know, like, a lot of our development team will hit the API, but more and more they're moving to GraphQL to see what's in the database, just because it's fast, easy, and more pleasant than hammering the API, hammering the REST API, than having to filter and find what you're looking for.
Totally.
So do we have any questions from the
We don't
audience?
have any questions coming through. Honestly, I mean, it could be a LinkedIn thing that we don't have any questions coming through. I'm not sure how that works streaming wise, but we don't have any, and it doesn't look like we have any coming in on LinkedIn. I have it open here too. So nothing coming through yet. Last time we did have some people reach out to us after, so that's probably what will happen again.
Okay, do you have any more questions? Is there anything else I can help with while we're here?
No, I mean, it's really funny because obviously I work here, but it's kind of like a explanation for myself as well, and learning this and being able to talk about it with a higher level of knowledge of it. So it's helping me as well, and I think it opens a lot of doors for people. So this is great. I mean, I'm learning a ton as we go through this too.
That's actually a good point. We got to get you up on the playground.
100%, which is what I was just thinking. You were like, it doesn't take that long to learn. I'm like, yeah, I should probably do the same thing as the people we're trying to talk to and do it myself. So
yeah,
I will take that advice and I will do it.
Yeah, excellent. Cool. Well, and the other thing too is, the world's moving to generative AI, agentic workflows, etc.
Totally.
If you're a non-technical person, this also makes it a lot easier to set some of those up. So even if your need isn't necessarily building out a full product, but you're a sharp, or you're a better, or you're just a fan, this might be a bit expensive for you. Sport-wise might be a better option, but if you've got the pocketbook to cut the checks for it, this is a good alternative for those personal projects as well.
Yeah, and we do have actually quite a few of those that are current customers and people who are reaching out to us right now for the data. So it is a significant portion of what we're hearing. So it's definitely not out of the realm of possibility.
I love it. Well, we know the good sharps, they got lots of dough. So
true. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it's not me for sure, but I mean, people we hear, I'm like, I don't know how you do it. They're using stuff like this, so maybe that's where I need to change my approach and use a product that I sell. So
yeah, exactly.
Anything else, Steve? We don't have any questions, so if there's nothing more on your end, we can end it there. Obviously, guys, any questions, feel free to reach out to us, connect with us on LinkedIn.
Discord too. Make sure you
Discord
join the Discord
too. Yeah, for sure. I will link that in our in the comment section here on LinkedIn, so you guys can join that. And obviously, that's the quickest way to get a hold of us. We have pretty much our whole team is on there, and they're on there. I don't want to say 24/7, but it feels like that's pretty common. They're on there for most of the time. So any questions, obviously, that's the quickest way to get answered. If you have any more questions about SportWise, DataFeeds, GraphQL specifically, connect with any of us. We'll be able to help you out. And yeah, we appreciate you guys jumping on. Thank you, Steve, for joining us again. I don't know when the next one will be. It'll probably be in the new year. I'm assuming since there's only 3 weeks left of
I would love to do it on
to the
Christmas
2025. Yeah, Christmas Day we can jump on. I'm sure my wife and my son won't care too much.
Yeah, they just have to dress up like Santa.
Yeah, exactly. I'll do the Grinch. We can do it then. But thanks for jumping on, Steve. We will end it there. Any questions, obviously, come to us, and we will chat to you guys in the new year.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Talk to you later.